Identifying players, what do we look for? So the game has changed, definitely changed. Well, no, let's say this. What are the things that you're looking for as a scout that makes someone stand out?
Andy, you are absolutely right, though, and that's going to lead right into it. The game has changed 1,000% since you and I played, even since you and I coached together. It has definitely changed. My first thing is hockey IQ, and that's a lot of different things for me wrapped up there. The first thing for the hockey IQ for me is their ability to make plays. Can they make plays with time and space? If you have a lot of time and space, can you make a play? Because sometimes there's guys that are just in a whole patch of ice by themselves and skate themselves into a circle, or, they skate themselves into a problem. So with time and space, and then under pressure, can they make the plays? Can they create their own time and space? And can they create it for their teammates? How well do they find that quiet area in the ice to score or get open for another scoring opportunity or a breakout pass, et cetera, et cetera? Their 200-foot game, especially if you're a wing along the walls, or if you're a defenseman, are you beating that the guy behind, the forechecker, you're beating him up the ice? The ability to adjust to your coaching on the fly. That's one thing I noticed in this age group versus other age groups I've watched over the years, is that their ability to adjust on the fly is a little bit slower than others that I've seen in the past, where I thought when I coached with you, our 97 group, did a great job of adjusting to things on the fly. And then coming up through the years here, I thought another age group that just adjusts on the fly really, really well was the 2001 age group. The ability, I would watch a game and their coach would bark something out and bang, it was like, yep, we got it. And they were done. It was right there on the bench. They didn't have to take a timeout or anything. And then the last thing with hockey IQ is their temperament. There's a ton of skilled hockey players out there, and especially in youth hockey, the beatings they take. The skilled players just take a beating, and can they take that beating and not physically retaliate? And that's a huge part of their hockey IQ, I believe. The great example of that is when coaching with you, Mitch Marner. At the time, I think he was playing for the Don Mills Flyers, and they were an okay team. They weren't the most skilled, but Mitch was a very, very good player and would just absolutely take a beating. And he would just keep ticking. There was never a retaliatory penalty out of Mitch Marner. The way he retaliated was, making you look silly and putting a bar down and celebrating his goal. That's how he retaliated. So those are just the quick things that I look for first is a hockey IQ. Next, skating. Straight line, east-west, transitions. If you can't skate, generally you can't play the game. There's not many Ray Shepherds. You probably have a young crowd. They don't even know who Ray Shepherd is, but he was a guy who played for the Detroit Red Wings that all he did was score goals, but getting to the net was like watching me skate. Wasn't pretty at times, but the man did score goals. The third thing I look for, and if you want to cut me off and ask a question, just let me know.
No, okay. As far as skating goes, how much has it actually changed? Like I guess is it just skating has to be so elite now? Is that basically it, or is it?
I don't want to say it's elite because there's always kinks in someone's stride, and look at your Windsor Spitfires, Foudy, north south. He is just a beautiful skater. Like, my goodness, it is. I have a feeling in a puck race he's going to win it every time. Like, his skating is just beautiful. But the one thing out of John Luke that he's really improved this year was his first three-stroke quickness out of holes. Those first three strides, bang, he's out now off of cycles, where before it took him a little bit of time to do that. Same thing with Will Cooley. Good, powerful skater, but his first three-stroke quickness out of corners this year off of cycles really, really, really improved. So that's one thing that you look for there in terms of skating. And then some guys are just kind of a north-south skater. There's not much east-west to their game, which there's nothing wrong with that. But the one thing I look for, are they trying to improve upon that? And over the course of the year, you see it. You see kids that, they get that initial scouting report from their coach or their advisor or their trainer because they talk to scouts and they work on that, and you see it happening.
Yeah. So, okay. So after skating, was there something else?
Oh, yeah. The overall skill set.
Okay.
So I have a couple for overall skill set. The relative skill. For example, the toe drag toe drags are so cool, and that the lacrosse move, is that made a comeback this year. Where I told my goalies, if anyone tried that, you have absolutely all swing stick head first. But my thing for their relative skill set, can a player receive a bad pass and stay in stride? We were just talking about Zach Cassian earlier, and that's one part of his game that I thought this year in Edmonton He has the ability, an uncanny ability to like get passes in the worst situations and get him to his tape and get him to other guys. And that's coming from a third line guy. So imagine, you know, a guy like Leon Draisaitl that he plays with, or Connor McDavid, like they're getting bad passes all the time and they don't lose stride. That's one thing there. So like relative skills. So can I take that bad pass? Can I, you know, not dust the puck off and get it on net quickly? Can I make that move? You know, can I make without stick handling, without overhandling the puck, that kind of thing. The next part of the overall skill set is catching and receiving passes, knowing when and where to throw the hard bomb versus a touch or a soft pass to an area. I guess that'd be part of hockey IQ, but just a skill set. It's almost a dying skill set where guys aren't, you know, they're trying to catch it that old. I know they can't see me, but that old-fashioned way where they're bringing the puck back and like Mighty Ducks when they with the eggs, right? I'm probably dating myself there too, but the eggs, and they're bringing soft hands there. You have to be able to, you know, tap the puck down and be able to shoot it right away. And then the last, I guess, overall skill is the shooting. The release, number one, quickness of the release. And then how many angles can they shoot from? Is there a pull-in shot? Is there pull, you know, outside, like there? Accuracy, hardness and heaviness. And then the ability to find lanes. You know, just watch NHL highlights, how many guys are putting it through bodies, through sticks, and, you know, and scoring goals there. And then the last thing, you know, I keep it kind of simple here. I know I talked a lot there, but the last thing is, what do they do well? So what does a player do well? Okay, they have the overall skill set. They're a good skater. They have great hockey IQ. What do they do? So just a couple of those. Do they have are they just goal scorers? That's one. A guy like Alex DeBrincat comes to mind.
Yep.
When we coached for Sam, when he played for Victory Honda, I'm like, I remember telling the other defense coach, please do not put this defenseman on when Alex DeBrincat is on the ice, because if he gets it, is going in the back of our net. And it went in the back of our net because Alex DeBrincat could score from anywhere in minor midget as well as in the NHL, as we've seen. What are the or defensive specialist? I always come back to, and I tell this to my players, the story you told me about Chris Draper, where they walked into Team Canada's locker room. They're like, if you're willing to sacrifice goals for our team, you will be on the ice every shift for some man named Jaromir Jagr. And, you know, now Chris Draper, you know, assistant general manager of the Detroit Red Wings, and he had a great NHL career as a defensive specialist. That there's kids out there that are just great at it. They you know, penalty kill, they just eat shots. Are they an elite playmaker? That might be the one thing they do extremely well. I had a player this year that I wanted to strangle because he would have grade A scoring chance, get the goalie down, whole net's open, then he'd pass it to a teammate because he was so unselfish. But just an elite playmaker, a guy like Barzell, Crosby, Claude Giroux. And then another one is, do they score big goals? I had a player this year who played for me, Cam Van Sickle, scored. We had 6 overtime games this year. I think he scored 5 OT goals. Or Justin Williams is another guy who comes to mind, just like a big Game 7 player. So just what they do well is my fourth one.